I just stumbled on a new AI software that helps you to tell stories like a professional, and it's called Katalist AI. When I first came across Katalist, I struggled to figure out a good use case for it, but then it hit me like a ton of bricks. So I have three reasons why it's worth the investment, and in this review, in addition to those three reasons, I want to show you why this new Katalist AI software should be an essential part of your AI toolbox, why getting in early will help you save a ton of money, and then after you finish this video, how this tool can help you to be more interesting when telling stories, whether it's on YouTube or even if it's just to your friends and family. I just recently finished a awesome book, and it's called Storyworthy, that literally teaches you how to tell a good story. And I mean, not like the marketing stories, I mean like a real honest story. So I have some insight on how to tell good stories, and from what I can tell early on, Katalist is something that you do not want to miss out on. So just as a quick reminder, the first link in the description will give you lifetime access to Katalist. So if you want to go check it out, click the link and go buy it to support the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. So now let's jump into this tool. Currently, it's available over on AppSumo for $49 for a tier 1. We'll get into what the tiers will include in just a moment. But you can see it's already getting 22 out of 22, 5 out of 5 stars. I was not convinced when I first saw this, and then all of a sudden I saw a couple of people pop up with videos on it, and they're talking about it, and then I looked at these reviews, and all of a sudden I kind of got blown away with what the tool can actually do in terms of coming up with a good story. And it has everything from customizable scenes, helping you to storyboard exactly what you want your story to do. It's pulling pictures and everything from AI using Midjourney, so it's going to be able to give you some pretty good results. They tout it as being an alternative to Adobe Photoshop and Canva and even Miro. We'll dive more into that later in the video, but I did want to show you a couple of things as to what is going to be included with this. So you do get lifetime access to the Katalist Storytelling Studio, all future tier 1 or tier 2 studio and individual pro plans. We'll get to the value in just a moment on the actual website, but there's no codes, no stacking. You just kind of get what you get, and then you go from there. I think those are the biggest things of note. But then down here we have license 1, 2, and 3. Now these tiers are based on the tiers that they have on their website, which we'll look at in just a moment, just so that you can see the value that you're getting from this. So I'm probably going to be getting the license tier 2, but just a tier 1, $49, which is very, affordable in my opinion for what you're going to be getting here. You'll be able to get 250 images per month, one user, and then all of the features included. I'm probably just going to go with this license tier, like I mentioned before, because you get unlimited images from here. I see this as an option to be able to export images and then use them in your videos if you're doing YouTube, coming up with a good story if you have to make pitches to companies, because everything is better when you present it as a story as to what your idea is in your head. All of the biggest video people, professionals, YouTubers, they all storyboard their stuff before they actually come out with it, so that they can have a good visualization of what's going to be happening in their story. And then they have license tier 3, where you can get 5 users, unlimited images per month. I have considered this because you can do real-time collaborations in the projects, but there might be a way around that for tier 2. I'm not really sure. I had to look and dive into the software to be sure. But anyways, again, I'll leave a link down in the description to go ahead and check it out. You do get a 60-day money-back guarantee just for trying it over at AppSumo. So even if you don't like it after 59 days, you can always get your money back. Looking down here at some of the reviews, you can see Simply Spectacular, Catalastic, all right, good one on that one. Cinematic Brain Power, Unleashing the Power of Storytelling with Katalist Collaborative. This looks like it was generated by AI, but that's interesting right there. Endless Creative Applications, and it's some pretty good stuff here. So let's go ahead and jump into the front page of the tool. You see they also are on Product Hunt. Create visual stories with consistent characters and scenes using generative AI. And I think the big thing here is the consistent characters. This is one of the hardest things to do with AI nowadays, is trying to get the AI to use the same person or the same generative person that it just created over and over again in different images. So it makes it a lot easier for you to go through and create stuff like this, right? Where you can actually have these people in these settings and, tell an effective story. It's being used by some of these places, such as Saatchi & Saatchi, Publicis, And here's a good example right here of kind of how it is. So it creates these storyboard, images that you can look at. But let's just say I didn't want to use Mike here, and I wanted to use Carlos. So I click Carlos, and it puts him in the exact same images that Mike was just currently in. Or if I wanted to use a kid, like with Nick, and Nick's doing the exact same pictures, exact same storyboarding, and you see it is the same character in each one of them. This is AI, so sometimes the images are gonna look like AI, but the roadmap that they have for Katalist AI is pretty promising. All right, let's jump over to Maria. I'm curious as to what that'll look like. That's interesting here too. But again, the exact same images, but just with a different character each and every time. You can control the scenes, make it look like however you want, dinosaurs, medieval castles. And I know you might be looking at this and thinking, okay, what does this really mean for me, right? And I had the exact same questions, and they do have a Discord group to show other people what they're doing with it and how you can use it as well. I see this as an absolute win as a YouTuber because you can really craft story. If anyone follows, Mr. Beast or any of these really big guys, they always tout on story to be exactly how they get people to watch your videos longer. And if you're creating content online at all, if you can tell an effective story, Katalist is going to help you to do that. It's just as simple as importing the script that you've written, or you can use it to help you write a script using AI. Katalist will automatically generate the visuals, and then you can tweak it to get it just right so that you can tell the effective story that you are looking for. Plus, you can download these images and then use them throughout your video, use them throughout whatever, so that you can have a pretty good idea of what your story is going to be talking about. And here's how it can save you time as well. If you were to hand write all of these, most people don't even do this. I don't, storyboard anything like this. However, if I can get it done within a minute versus, a couple of hours, then yeah, I might do it now, because now I'm going to have a much better view of what my stories are going to actually be. So let's go ahead and take a look at the roadmap that Katalist has right here. And we can see these are things that are under consideration. Let's look at what's planned so far. And this is a big one right here that I thought was interesting. Generate videos from storyboard. So as the AI is getting better, I have seen rumblings of them wanting to include stuff such as Sora and other types of AI generation to actually make scenes, of what it is you happen to be talking about in your story, which will then make it a lot easier to do like B-roll, in your YouTube videos, or if you just need, the images for whatever reason. This is pretty disruptive in my opinion for what it is. And if you can I can see the value of just telling your story, pressing a button, and then it creating the images, or it creates the videos and the B-roll that you can use in your story. That's kind of mind-blowing to me, and I think it's pretty awesome. They're going to have voiceover generation. They're probably going to get with 11 Labs or something. I'm not really sure, but they're the top ones out there right now, as well as music generation. So it's literally going to become a one-click stop shop for everything that you need to do with creating perhaps, a YouTube video that can do decently well on YouTube. Generative fill, AI script writing assistant. These are some of the things that are already there, and then things that they've worked on: scenes, CSV script import, cinematic style video export, zip export, image upload. Oh yeah, that's one thing they're going to be doing as well. I meant to mention that is, as of right now, at the recording of this video, we can't upload images yet for them to use, but we can then eventually, the whole point is that we will be able to maybe take pictures of yourself, upload them, and then have yourself be the character in the story. That means you're going to be in all of the images on the storyboard, as well as in any videos that might be created with it as well, which is kind of mind-blowing in my opinion. Let's go ahead and look at the price of Katalist. So if you were to sign up, you can try it for free with 50 credits just to get started. I don't believe it restarts every month, but I mean, you can get, 50 free credits to kind of see what the service is like. If you did want to go with the individual, it's $39 per month. I think it's, as of right now, it's only per month. They don't have any yearly to get a discount yet, but it's a fairly new company from what I can tell. But they're making inroads like really, really quick. And then they have the studio. Now the individual versus the studio are going to be the two tiers that are available over on AppSumo. So if we go right here, license tier 1, as you see up here, is going to be the individual tier, and then the studio is going to be the tier 2. So that's why I would recommend getting the studio, which is, they don't even tell you how much it costs here, but you can get it for $99 right here, right there. And I would go ahead and give that a try. So let's now go ahead and jump into Katalist. So when you first sign up for Katalist, it throws you into a script assistant where you can upload your script, or you can just tell it to create a script for you. The one that put in here immediately was like some weird medieval story that I was coming up with, but I went ahead and chose this one where it says refreshing drink that gives you superpowers. I mean, how cool is that, right? And they break down the script down here where you can click the edit button and change anything in here. It tells you about a group of friends in scene one. June approaches a vendor and then, continues on in that storyline. This is how you tell a story. So I mentioned Storyworthy earlier, and this is one of the reasons why you should pick up on this Katalist tool, is that when you tell stories, you need to tell stories as if you're reading from a comic book, right? Think about what a comic book does. It gives you one scene and then you tell that story of that scene. Then you have the next scene and then you tell the story from that scene. And then that's how the stories are connected together. Your story should be like comic books, and this tool, Katalist AI, is what makes that process so much easier. Another reason is that the fact that it has great story organization, so that you can make sure it makes sense as to what you're going to be doing. Let's go ahead and hit confirm, since we have 6 scenes here as to what this story about refreshing drink gives you superpowers. It takes a few seconds to do this, so I'm gonna just jump ahead and I'll see you once it's done. All right, so we are back here, and you see it finished the storyboard for June here, and it took the exact scenes and it just created images from them. When you click on, you can click edit, and it'll bring up the images themselves. And let's just say something about this you didn't like, right? You can actually change the prompt that's being used, and maybe you want to change the angle. You can do a top-down shot, low view shot. If you want to do a full shot, medium shot, close-up shot, and then while you're changing everything in here, you put a hashtag so that it keeps the consistency of the characters in the story, and it just works out, and then you can generate another file down there. There's some more advanced stuff here where you can add in a negative prompt. So if you wanted to not do anything specifically, then you can add that to the advanced prompt. The scene can be a story, park, daytime, or you can superhero adventure, superhero discovery. Pretty interesting here. You can add a new one, reflecting a sunset. And then this is the scene itself: a lively park on a hot summer day, full of green grass, children playing, and a mysterious vendor with a cart of colorful drinks, which sounds kind of weird anyway. But let's just say in this story right here, we didn't want to use this character, right? Maybe June is not our person. We could actually click edit here and then change the name. Let's change it to Junie, all right? Just so that we can see that. And then we can click on the picture and we can change who we want this to be. Now, if we were able to upload your own images, you could put in your own images. So let's look at the teenagers here. So we have this cool guy right here with the flat top. Let's click on him, and it's going to say confirm the character change, and then click regenerate. All right, so now it changed it over to Junie, and it looks like it changed all of the characters in the story to make them all African American, which I find pretty interesting. But it added all of those to it. It left this one the same, but then they have the scene here where they're helping people on their bicycles. Cat in a tree, they took out, clean up the park in record time, and then they're all kind of reflecting on the fact that they now have these cool powers. So this one right here, I'm going to click edit just so I can see if I can change it. So let's go ahead and just hit regenerate here, and let's see if it actually changes it to be in sync with the rest of the story. All right, so you see it generated a few more images down here, but it kept them as the little Asian girls here, which doesn't match with the story. So I'm going to go over here and make this change where I say a full shot of Junie instead. So just by doing this, I would just take out the names that are there, put hashtag, and you see the characters who are in the story pops up here. I'll click on Junie, it automatically adds, and then I'll hit generate. And now let's see exactly how this changes up the story. All right, so you see it generated some more, and just by putting in our main character, it changed up basically everything, which is actually what we kind of wanted, because now this is more in line with the rest of the images that are in our storyboard. So let's just see if we can find one that we like here. And these are, your kind of typical AI images. It's pretty good, but it's not, you see a little inconsistency with the hands there. Even on this one, a little bit of inconsistency. And then, the girl, it looks good. The boy looks good. He has a straw. I think that's what that's supposed to be. and it's not working out the greatest on there. But again, this is just giving you an idea. And if you're just trying to come up with a consistent character throughout your narrative, this is good enough to kind of flash on screen. And it will get better with time. You got to remember, AI, especially AI image generation right now, is at its worst form now. It's only going to get better along with time. And I think Katalist is one of those tools that are going to continue getting better as time goes on. So once you finally find one that you like, you click the checkmark button up here, it gets added, then we can return back to our storyboard. So now we fixed our storyboard here, and each one is there, which is pretty awesome. And from here, we can then download the images if we want it. So we have the story here, and just like we saw in the roadmap for Katalist earlier, this is going to eventually become a video. And then we just go to one image to the next, and we're each scene, and you can complete your story arc, where you're introducing what's going on. You introduce the characters, what they want, what they don't want, what's cool that happens to them, how they get through it, how do they use it, and then getting back to the other end where now they're just these changed individuals because of the drink that they drank, right? So this is a good example. Let's go ahead and jump out of presentation mode. When you go to the projects, you have different projects that you can go with to create a new one. You hit create new project. You can change the art style. So if you wanted to look cinematic versus if you wanted to be a sketch. Square, portrait, just depending. I'd probably always go with the 16:9. Project name, let's just call this moving out because looks like they're moving stuff, and hit create. And then we have create an empty project, help me draft a script, or you can import a story that you happen to already have written. Let's do help me draft a script, and I'll just say wife and husband moving out of apartment to house, and then click the little button right here, which then will generate the story. All right, it creates the different types of scenes that we have here. So the wife and husband are packing their belongings, cardboard boxes, couple loads of boxes. The wife and the husband explore a new neighborhood. Couple sits on a new backyard patio. There you go. It's a story, right? Let's go ahead and click on confirm. We'll give this another minute. All right, so here's the story that we came up with here. We have characters, Nicole and Daniel. And we have our scene 1, scene 2. Looks like they got doubled right here. Not really sure what's going on there. And the other person, Daniel, doesn't seem to be in this picture, but he is here. And then there's another couple in the back there. They share a laugh. They rediscover cherished items, replacing their belongings. There's another couple back there. And then the wife and husband explore their new neighborhood, strolling hand in hand along the tree lines. They greet friendly neighbors. Okay, so those are the neighbors in the background. But then the couple here makes them two ladies rather than Daniel. So in each one of these, what we would do, for example, is let's just say this is really off, which it happens to be. Let's just regenerate again and see exactly what pops up from it. All right, so it regenerated, and you see it gives us a few more things that we can use here. So this one actually has the correct people in our story. So let's go ahead and use this one. So I'm gonna hit the check mark, go back to our storyboard, and you see it's been replaced there. This one that has 2 people in it, let's edit it, and we're gonna take out one of these people. Let's just regenerate and see exactly what it comes up with. And if there's something about this that you don't like, other than the second person in this one, and we want to add some more detail to the story, you can put that within your creative direction down here, and you see it adds more. You see this one right here, looks like the AI kind of is a little off with who was creating there. Let's see what our scene is. The couple loads the boxes into a moving truck, working together to lift and stack them carefully. So each one has this. So because each one seems to not be including Daniel, and if it does include Daniel and it puts in the same character twice, what I'll do down here is go to advanced, go to negative prompt, and say, all right, so I put in a negative prompt, and I see here I finally got an image that has just Daniel and Nicole in it. So we're going to use that one. Hit the check mark up here and back to storyboard. And this looks a lot better based on what we had before. And then this one, the wife and husband arrive at their new house. Yeah, that's not going to be good. So let's change this up. We're just going to click regenerate again. All right, so we have a few generations here. We have still 2 Nicoles in this picture, 2 Nicoles in that one. This one right here is them looking at their new house. And let's go ahead and use that one, hit the check mark and storyboard. So here we are. We have a decent storyline or story arc here with 6 different scenes, and when you're telling a story, you have organization as to what's going on in this scene, what's going on in that scene, while you tell your overarching story. So all right, so one quick thing I wanted to show you that I forgot this software can do is you can actually change the poses of the individuals and the images themselves. So let's just say, for instance, we wanted to have her waving. Let's see how this goes. So you click on the little person that you have over here on the left side, and it's going to create like a little skeleton of the body structures of the people who are in your image. And then from here, you just double click one aspect of it, and then you can change it. So instead of her hand being resting on this box, I'm gonna make her hand kind of be like this, maybe like she's waving or something. Let's go ahead and hit generate and see what it gives us. All right, so it made a couple of versions here. We do have her waving now, which is cool. There's still another person within here, and now he's kind of waving. Yeah, I had to just play with the prompt here to try to get this to where only one version of Nicole seems to pop up in the image, but it's going to get better over time, especially as you get better with the prompts, right? So if you do want to give Katalist a try to be able to get that overarching story for you, all you got to do is just go to the link in the description, check it out, give it a 60-day money-back guarantee try to see if it's something that you think that you could use. And other than that, go ahead and give it a try, and I'll catch you next video.